Working with seismic loads. A seismic wizard provided and able definition parameters required to determine the seismic load cases. Seismic analysis can be run with a structured seismic wizard is not currently available. The AS 1174 code variant. Running a seismic wizard gives the through the process of defining information required with the seismic analysis, strictly information seismic loading, and force and moment to apply with every flow and construction level. How to run a seismic wizard. Click load seismic wizard. Wizard appropriate to select the loading code will be staring. You can use the page for the define the necessary information. Run through various pages of the window with clicking next to reach for the next button with the chain with the finish. For the click of the button to terminate seismic wizard. After you're using seismic with the combination generator display to allow you to set up the seismic load combinations. Related topic ASC E7 the seismic wizard, UBC 1997 the seismic wizard, Eurocode E 1998-1 2004 seismic wizard. How do I display with the horizontal design spectrum? After running the seismic with the horizontal design spectrum committee, achieve click the load horizontal design spectrum can switch between the direction 1 and direction 2 spectrum in the properties window. How do I delete seismic loads? Occasionally you may require to delete the seismic load starting seismic modeling process from scratch. 1. Click load, delete seismic. All previously defined seismic loads are removed. Load decomposition. This way, the way in which load decomposition is performed, it all depends on how the slab are modeled and how they are spanning. For one-way spanning slab loads are decomposed directly on supporting members before 3D analysis is performed. For a two-way spanning slab, the load decomposition is not required at those levels where the option mesh two-way slabs and additional 3D analysis is applied. At other levels of 3D analysis can be performed. Any loads applied with the two-way slabs have to decompose back on the supporting members to achieve the separate FE load decomposition carried out with the automatically prior to the 3D analysis where the load decomposition has occurred result of the decomposed load rather than the original slab loads can get applied with the 3D analysis model. The verification purpose of the selective display with the decomposed load with 3D views. Although load decomposition is carried out automatically when you click the analyze the stroke, the decomposition command provides the optional way to perform the same task manually. May elect to do this in order to manually check the loads being decomposed with the interior prior to running the analysis. In context big complex models that may help useful time saver, particularly with the manual decomposition can be carried out on level by level basis. How to manually decompose slab loads for individual construction level. Open a 2D view level required with the display of 3D and related topics. How to display 2D view and 3D. Click load decomposition provide the relevant scene content setting of the activated slabs to mesh and loading decompose. You should see a FE mesh generated with the slab panels resulting in decomposed loads applied to the beams. How do I manually decompose slab loads for all required levels of open instruction 3D view? Click load decomposition. How do I view the decomposed load either with or without load values? Open 3D view, physical view of the model, or 2D view display 3D. In scene content, expand loading groups. Select decompose. If the view to decompose load values call, click on the cell to the right of the decompose option. Select both geometry and text. To view the decomposed load without values, click on the cell to the right of the decomposed option. Clear the text. Select the load case. The loading drop-down list. Decomposed loads do not exist at levels where the option mesh two-way slab that the 3D analysis have been applied. At levels where there's not a case where you can view the decomposed loads, you cannot see any of the shell result of the FE load composition. Working with panel loads. Working with panel walls. Panel loads are used to apply loads to a slab panel or slab items, roof panels, or wall panels as follows. Point, line, patch, polygon loads can be applied anywhere with the individual across the multiple slabs, roof, wall panels. They can be applied with the 2D views, not 3D. Area loads are entirely cover slab, roof, and wall panels. Slab loads entirely cover all slab panels of the parent slab. And level loads entirely cover all parent slabs in a level. Parent slabs consist of slab panels that are physically separated from each other, however they must be on the same level. How do I create a point load? Open a 2D view level whether we want to play the load. 2. Select the appropriate load case for loading. Drop down list. 3. Click the load load groups. View load details display. Property windows adjust as necessary. 5. Click the reference node with the load position can be offset. This can be a started endpoint member of the level. Select the reference node points must be selected in the scene content. 6. Click again to specify the load position graphically. Press F2 for the enter position. B for the keyboard. If the slab panel is moved, the manually selecting repositioning slab panel with the nodes with the point load and they not move with the slab panel. However, if any of the grid lines defined on the reference node with the move of the load will also move. How do I create a line load? Open the 2D view level will apply to the line load. Apply the load. Select an appropriate load case. The loading drop down list. Click load line load. View load details displayed on the property window. Suggest if necessary, click the reference node of the load position can be offset. This can be the start endpoint with any member of the end level. Select the reference node. Points must be switched on to the scene content. Click the specified load ports to start position graphically. F2 to enter for the position. V for the keyboard. Note this is an offset of the X and Y from the chosen reference node. Click or press F2 to specify the load end position. Notice that enter V for the keyboard. Offset X, Y, load start position. How do I create a start patch load? Open the 2D view on the level to which you want to apply the load. Select the appropriate load case from the loading drop-down list. Click load, patch load, review load, details, display property windows just as necessary. 5. Click the reference node of the load position can be offset. This can be the start endpoint any of the member of the level. Select a reference node points and must be switched for the scene content. Click the specified corner position load graphically. Press F2 for the enter for the corner position. V for the keyboard. 7. Click the press F2 to specify the size. Specify the offset, the dimension of the corner position. 8. Click the press F2 to define the rotation. How do I create a polygon load? Open the 2D view of the level in which you apply the load. Select the appropriate load case for the loading drop-down list. Click load, polygon load. View the load display with the property window just as necessary. Click the reference node with the load position can be offset with this. Maybe do the start endpoint with any of the member of the level. Select the reference node points must be switched to scene content. Click the specified load position graphically. Press F2 for the enter position. V for the keyboard. Note with the offset XY from the chosen reference node. Click the specified corner of the specified corner position load graphically. Press F2 for the enter for the corner position keyboard. Continue with the specify the remaining corner position same way with the polygon is complete. Press enter and click one or more of the first corner to create the load. 10. Once the polygon has been created, the shape of the subsequent may be the graph is edited by with selecting the load, clicking one of the vertex, clicking again to move the vertex to a new position. Alright, how do I create a perimeter load on the 2D, 3D view? Show the level at which you want to apply the load. Select the appropriate load case, load drop-down list, click load, perimeter load, review the load detail, the display property windows, adjust necessarily note with the particular create as a line load, create the load series with separate line loads along each for the external edge. Leave levy clear to create a single load object. Ignore openings, create load around external perimeters only, but not around internal opening parameters. Click any of the slab or mat item. The load is created around the external perimeter of every continuous area of the slab in the identified level. How do I create variable patch load? Variable patch loads are not just restricted to quadrilaterals. They can be any polygon shape. On 2D view, the level at which you apply the load, select the appropriate load case, load drop-down list, click load, variable patch load. Review the load, line load display with the property windows just necessary. At this point, you require 3 load values to describe the variable load, the location picked graphically at a later stage. 5. Click the reference node of the load position can be offset. This can be with the start endpoint with any of the member at the level. And select the reference and points must be switched in the scene content. Note, click the specify the load start position graphically. F2 for the position with the V for the keyboard. Note with the offset with the XY with the reference node. Click specify the corner part of the load graphically. F2 for the enter for the corner position with V for the keyboard. Continue to specify the remaining corner portions the same way the polygon and complete. Press enter. Click one more of the first corner to find. 10. Click one of the corners polygon to pick the position of load 1. Click another corner to pick the position of load 2. Click another corner to pick the position of load 3. Once the variable patch has created a shape of the subsequently graphically edit, select the load, clicking one of the vertex, clicking again the more, move the vertex to a new position. How to create an area load? Open a 2D view level which we want to apply the load. Select the appropriate load case, the load drop-down list, click load, area load. Review the load details displayed with the property windows. Adjust and necessarily click the panel to which the load will be applied. How to create a variable area load. Open 3D view with the frame view, slope plane view, which should apply with the load. 2. Variable area load can only be applied to non-horizontal slab roof panels as well as wall panels and concrete walls since they can be applied to the 2D view. Select the appropriate load case, load drop-down list, click load, variable area load. Review load details, display property windows just as necessary. 5. Click panel with the load will be applied. How do I create a slab load? Select appropriate load case of the load drop down list. Click load slab load. Review the load details display with the property windows just as necessary. Click any slab with the parent slab in order to apply the load in the panels with the parent slab. How do I create a level load? Select an appropriate load case of the load drop down list. Click load level load and review the load details display with the property windows adjusted necessary. Click any slab no panel to order to apply slab low slab all slab within level. How do I edit load? Select the load to be edited. Review the load details described on the property windows just as necessary. How to delete a load. Enter the load case containing the load is displayed in the load drop down list. Click delete in the quick access toolbar. Select the load to be deleted and click delete. Working with member loads. Member loads are used to apply only in loads in one-dimensional members such as beam, columns, and braces. How to create a field UDL. Selecting an appropriate load case, load drop down, click a field UDL. Load details displayed in property windows. Adjust the necessary. Click anywhere the implementable element to be loaded. How to create partial UDL or VDL. Select an appropriate load case, load drop down, load UDL or VDL. Review the load detail properties, property windows, just necessary with the help of the cursor element to display with a number of special points along it. Pick a load start point with a clicking one of the special points, clicking any of the given distance along with the length, and pressing F2 with the enter position on the keyboard. Clicking F2 to specify the load length. How to create the trapezoidal load. Select an appropriate load case, load drop down, click load trapezoidal load. Review the load detail with the display with the property windows, adjusting necessary with the cursor of the element to display with the number of specified points. Pick a load against either with clicking one of the special points, clicking any of the given distance element, and pressing F2 with the enter position on the keyboard. 6. Load position defined with a point over the trapezoidal load, which is symmetrically reaches the maximum intensity. How to create a moment, point or moment load. Select an appropriate load by casing loading, drop down load, point load, or moment load, or member load panel. Review the load details displayed with the property windows, just necessary. Hover the cursor over the element to display with the number of the special points along it. Pick the load position element. Load position either clicking on one of the special points, clicking any of the given distance along the element, F2 with the enter position on the keyboard. How to create a torsional full UDL. Select an appropriate load case, the load drop down list, load torsional full UDL. Review the load details displayed with property windows, adjust necessary. Click anywhere along the element to apply the load. How to create partial length over the torsional UDL, torsional VDL. Select appropriate load case for the loading drop-down list. Click load, torsional UDL or torsional VDL. Review the load details displayed with the property windows. Suggest necessary. Hover the cursor over the element to display with the number of special points along it. Pick the load start position either with the clicking one of the special points, clicking any of the given distance along with the element, pressing F2 with the enter position on the keyboard. Click again F2 to specify the load length. Working with structural loads. Following structural loads can be applied to nodal loads. Apply with the solve of the node location. Temperature load, global rise in temperature applied with an individual element panel. Selected element panels or elements panel. Element load. A transition rotation applied to support UCS system. How to create a nodal load. Selecting appropriate load case, load drop down. Just click load, nodal load. Review the load detail to display with the property windows. Adjust the necessary the load position. Click on the node. How to create a temperature load. Select the appropriate load case, load drop down list. Click load temperature load. Review the load details to display with the property windows. Adjust the necessary. Click anywhere with the element to apply the load. How do I create a settlement load? Select appropriate load case, load drop down, click load settlement load. Review the load details properties of windows of adjust the necessary level. Click the load position, click the supported node. Analysis guide. We'll cut the tape there.